And if you think that 3 versus 10 number is going to impugn my credibility before a jury, I think you need to think again.
You need to think again. Michael Cohen, I love it. I'm going to play this full clip from the podcast that I host with Michael Cohen. It's called Political Beatdown. It's one of the most fun things I do during the week is co-hosting the show with Michael Cohen. And on this clip I'm about to play you, Michael Cohen had some words for his haters. And the words to his haters was basically like, if you think that I'm going to be a bad witness, if you think that you're going to try to impeach my integrity, think again. But you got to watch this whole clip. It's brilliant. Play the clip. The MAGA Republicans are led by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Right there. And there's nothing normal about that.
It's Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I love the fact that she invokes the name of Nelson Mandela in, her defense of Donald Trump. Because I've already stated this, so I have no problem with saying it again. I said it in my first book, Disloyal, that Donald Trump, when Nelson Mandela passed, he was, very critical of Nelson Mandela, and even went so far as to say, show me a country run by a black that's not a shithole, right? And at the time, this is when Barack Obama was the president of the United States. So I turned around and I said to him, well, what about the United States? He looked at me with, that same fucking face of disgust and, an animus that he had when he was sitting at the table as the defendant. I mean, he legitimately said, name to me a country that is run by a black that is not a shithole. I mean, could you imagine? And she's invoking the name of Nelson Mandela. All right, a man who stood for something, who stood for his country and his people. This man doesn't stand for anything other than your money. That's all that he's looking for, money and power. End of story. And then to be so blasphemous and then to invoke Jesus's name into it also. I mean, this is a really unhinged, sick human being. I mean, Donald is not Jesus Christ. Let me be very, very clear about that. Donald Trump is the exact opposite. I mean, to me, I can't understand the fact that they still have people, good people that are supporting him. And maybe they're not good people. Maybe they're just fucked up. I don't know the answer, but whatever it is, the fact that she could invoke the names of Nelson Mandela and then Jesus, and then people are sitting there and, they're going to fundraise off of this. I don't care if they're fundraising and they only come down with $20 or $50. The fact that anybody would send a single dollar to this Mandarin Mussolini, to me, is despicable. And worse than that, it's worse than despicable. It's just plain stupidity.
Yeah, and you mentioned the fundraising and the grift. Have you seen the photograph where what Donald Trump is now selling are these T-shirts with a fake mugshot of himself, and this is all over his social media platform right now, in between threatening the judge, threatening the Manhattan District Attorney, threatening Jack Smith, threatening Letitia James, threatening Fani Willis. You will see posts like this throughout his social media platform, the official not guilty shirt. And then he is such a malignant, narcissistic, delusional maniac that even on the fake mugshot, he puts his height at 6'5". I mean, every single thing about him.
Why doesn't he put his weight? Why doesn't he put his weight in there? Hey, Salty, if during the course of the rest of the show, can we put the not guilty shirt next to the Mar-a-Lardo Correctional Facility shirt? Show you which one is a better shirt, which one is more accurate. All right, you know which one wins, Ben? Ours wins. That's right.
The Mar-a-Lardo facility shirt definitely is much better. But then he had Uday and Qusay, give their media tour after the criminal arraignment. When you think about it, the way the Trumps want to run America is like an authoritarian regime. Like you go back to the Republican convention in 2020, right? They had no platform. They eliminated the Republican platform, and the Republican Party said, whatever Donald Trump says, we agree with. That's not hyperbole. That was actually what their platform was. And who were the speakers at the Republican National Convention? Who were their speakers? It was all of Trump's kids. Like, how humiliating and embarrassing can you be? And then his kids go out. I call them Uday and Qusay, like Saddam's kids. They all go out and give their media tour after the criminal arraignment. And they go out like they're horrible on TV. They further incriminate Donald Trump. Like, they look scared, and they only go on their right-wing propaganda networks. But let me show you this clip. This was Eric Trump after the criminal arraignment, and the gaslighting is just next level. And he's like, what we really have to do here is we have to let the democratic process prevail, because what the Democrats are doing is they're trying to lie, cheat, and steal and take away the democratic process like they did in 2020. I kid you not. This is what Eric Trump said. Here, play this clip of Eric.
It makes no sense at all. Alvin Bragg should be ashamed of himself. Letitia James should be ashamed of himself, and all of these people. We have to stop the games. We have to stop the nonsense. We have to let the democratic process prevail. But unfortunately, the Democrats don't care. They will lie, cheat, and steal to win. We saw it in 2020. We're seeing it right now. They will do anything that they can to take out a political rival of theirs. And we're going to fight it. And as we always do, Eric, we're going to win. We won Russia. We won the impeachments. We won the Ukraine hoax. We won, the Kavanaugh battle. We've won so many freaking battles at this point, and we're going to win this one. You better believe it.
You know what they didn't win? They didn't win the 17 count against the Trump organization. Alan Weisselberg certainly didn't win. The foundation certainly got shut down. They didn't win on that one. The Trump University case, they didn't win on that one. I mean, they didn't win on the Trump, hotel, the Soho Hotel. I mean, listen, Eric's an idiot. So there's no point in me trying to debate stupid. My grandma used to always say that you can't argue with stupid, and there's no point.
And now let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Fume. Cold turkey, it may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your wacky neighbor or some sketchy message board. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Now, not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit. The first time I used Fume, I was shocked at how flavorful and fresh it tasted. Now, it's easy to hold and perfectly balanced and quite honestly, extremely fun to fidget with. The real wood material and sleek design definitely classes it up, and I feel pretty darn cool holding it. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories. And there's no reason that can't be you. Head to tryfume.com and use code BEAT to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code BEAT to save an additional 10% off your order today.
Who's the one who ended up lying and cheating in 2016? Do we not recall the fact that, as I've stated over and over again, and it's now on the record, that through the help of the National Enquirer, do you not remember the photo of Ted Cruz's father standing next to Lee Harvey Oswald with the, with the heading onto it? Ted Cruz's dad killed John F. Kennedy, or the Marco Rubio swimming nude with a bunch of guys in a cocaine bash, frat party or something like that. Who do you think was behind all of that? Yep. Yep, you got that one right. And the worst is when I start getting, again, the attacks. And one of the things I wanted to say to you before, I kind of forgot to jump in, is that Republicans, thanks to people like Eric and Don, and of course Donald and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Josh Hawley and Matt Gaetz and Lindsey Graham and the Ted Cruzes, what happens is they fight very different than Democrats. All right. If you take a look, and a lot of it I know are bots from these bot farms that are controlled by Republicans, considering, these people that are attacking you on Twitter, for example, something Elon Musk promised that they would take care of. They have 0 followers, or they have 8 followers. It's a joke. But what happens is enough people see the ongoing continuous attacks on whether it's me or somebody else, and they start to believe the narrative that these bots and these lunatic Republicans are espousing, when there's actually no factual truth to anything that they're saying. I keep talking about, the notion of being the key witness. And truth be told, I don't care if I'm not a witness at all in this. And many people don't know this, but it's not as if I just decided to show up for the grand jury to testify, just like everyone else in this grand jury proceeding that preceded the indictment itself. I was subpoenaed by the DA's office to appear. And so I did. Just like everybody else, they treated me the same. And if in fact that I'm not needed for this, because the evidence speaks for itself, for somebody else, like maybe David Pecker or Dylan Howard or whoever else may be a key witness into it, let them be the key witness so I could try to restore my life, and get back to this thing. This does not do what so many people, think. This isn't an issue of 15 minutes of fame. This has damaged my family. This has damaged my life. But one thing that I promised, and I promised the American people when I was sitting with George Stephanopoulos, we're just a day or two shy from it, when I was raided by the FBI on April 9th, I promised that my loyalty was going to be to my wife, my daughter, my son, and my country. And I also made a promise, not just to the country, but to my wife, my daughter, my son, and myself, that I would never let history remember me as the villain of Donald's story. And I will continue to provide the information, and I will continue to testify to hold him accountable for his own dirty deeds. And that accountability is not coming from me. And it's not coming from you, Ben. It's coming from a jury that will ultimately be impaneled to make this decision. So when they turn around and they say, well, how can you trust Cohen's a convicted liar? Finish the fucking sentence. All right? Finish the sentence, which I did at the direction of, in coordination with, and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump. And again, one thing that I say it all the time, and I hate to have to be repetitive, but my feeling is we have to play the Republican repetitive game. What I did, all right, I lied to Congress. I acknowledge that. But people have to remember what that lie was. It was the number of times that I spoke to Donald Trump about the failed Trump Tower Moscow real estate project. I stated 3. I stated 3 when I was testifying, when the actual number was 10. And that 3, again, was directed in coordination with and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump. So when they're calling me a liar in regard to that claim, you're calling your Fuhrer, your supreme leader, your monarch, the dictator, the autocratic wannabe Donald J. Trump, the same exact thing that you're calling me. All right. And if you think that 3 versus 10 number is going to impugn my credibility before a jury, I think you need to think again.
Cohen for the win. Cohen is brilliant. I love hosting that show with him. So good. And it's such an honor to be friends with an American hero like Michael Cohen. Hey, make sure you subscribe on audio to Political Beatdown if you don't already. Wherever you get your audio podcast, just search Political Beatdown and make sure you subscribe. Leave a 5-star review. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe to the audio podcast. It's free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers, so please hit subscribe right now. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Have a great day. Subscribe.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.meidastouch.com.